Good morning. It's not quite the afternoon. Today is July the 10th, 2026. And the time is 11:12 a.m. in the morning. Today on Random Conversation, I want to touch on some things that people say in propaganda clippings, state authorities, government authorities, things that they say underneath their breath or their spirit. Like I said, I think nowadays everybody know how to speak to someone inwardly and their spirit. You can threaten somebody, you can encourage somebody. It's like your telephone device or your TV device is a point of contact nowadays where you see people in propaganda clippings here in America without audio. I hear something to the tune that audio time costs $1 million a minute, something like that. And yet you see it in the abundance, strangers um, and state federal government workers and federal government workers, Hillary and them, Kamala and them, Trump and them. You see them sitting there in the audio clipping without, in a televised propaganda clipping without audio. So you should know they're sitting there for a reason. And mostly, I get a lot of threats from federal government and stuff that's supposed to scare me out of my faith. And I don't want to call them by their first name because it cannot proven when they don't have audio and their words in the audio. It cannot be proven what was said to me. So if I quote them on their words and come over the airways, they will say, she's lying, she's lying. They know the government have money that belong to me, illegal money in their possession that belong to me. They would go and say, well, she lied on me. Give me this amount of money. Give me that amount of money. It's like the story of, I believe it was Samson. God put a special anointing in his hair. And when the enemy found out where his power lied, they really mocked him, mocked God, and crushed him pretty much. But in the end, he got the victory. So once a person or people know that you can hear what they say inwardly, they have a field, which call it a field day, a field goal. They have a ball with that. They get it, send a spirit to your apartment over television propaganda clip it, and they lie through their teeth. They threaten you and everything. And since it cannot be proven, it's like my only card to play is to pray about it for sure, but openly rebuke them on the internet. And that's where they rely on account of me doing because they know they're going to go to Trump and say she lied to me and get their pockets filled. So there's one particular lady who ran for president. She says, we have your head. We cut your head off, meaning that no matter how you try to fast, pray, and meditate, you're not going to get that visit with God. Well, when I try to fast and pray, I do see trouble in my meditation. It's like it's scattered, like a scattered channel or something. But the Lord is the resurrection from the grave. It's just a matter of time I'm going to win this battle. And then the day she was running for office, I did see visions of my head and my front spiritual head and my front closet. And recently I had a vision of a skeleton head, but this head was in light underneath my bed. So the government does stuff like that. They do anything to scare you out of trying to fast with the Lord. Well, when you die, you go into spirit universe, this, that, and the other, and we're going to heaven, you're going to hell. We cut your head off, you know. But anyway, like I said, if the Lord and the Trinity gods can resurrect the whole body from the grave, complete with a head that also died, he can resurrect mine too. So that don't hinder me. I mean, I see hindrance, but it's not going to stop me from calling on the power that be to get me where I'm supposed to be. And with all this spiritual warfare going against me, I should not have to call, but God to give me a rock bottom deal, you know. So even if I'm going to win, get out of his way and let him do what he wants down here with what he created. Because I'm not getting anywhere with his people. So, Lord, why did you speak to me some 20 plus years ago and say you would bring the people back to me? You can't do nothing with them. I can't do nothing with them. Three of y'all threw in the towel. Here come four. I'm throwing the towel too. So it's not a matter of the people's choice as to what they're going to do in the land. This ain't your earth, but as He used you. You know, I'm not going to question Him on that. All I know is if three threw in the towel and don't want this down here anymore, I better follow because they talking stuff over here, some witchcraft stuff that I never heard of. I've seen three different spirits wearing my faces, flying around talking to officers and telling them this and telling them that I plan to do. I don't know you, what you doing with my face, what you doing with my voice. If you get any kind of dreams of me in your dream telling you to do this or that, it's not me. It's almighty witchcraft and warlock power in the land nowadays. Spirit of the universe is not Jehovah Godfather. That's his ex fallen Lucifer husband, I am told. They got kicked out of heaven, you know. He wants this earth down here to be his, but it's not his. He just rain on it like it's his. And God is tired of that rain. You know, most saints of God that was born in darkness uh, and got saved, or some still in darkness, those are mostly the ones that's locked up. The ones that got everything pretty much, just about. Uh, those are the ones that the spirit of the universe want to push God's. It's still a fight, a spiritual battle, warfare. You want to push God's business out the way and have you barely surviving while placing something that He created on the pedestal and rule the world. Well, your rule is coming to an end. The Trinity have already decided it's your time to go, and I can't sort nothing out, so don't give me no more time to sort it out. You know, people ain't gonna choose nobody over me. You know, because I'm choosing to take sides with the Trinity. You know, and do what you're gonna do with this down here, because it ain't nothing I can do with it. All right. So don't try to scare me out of fasting and praying. You know what? The Lord just recently said, I will accept it if you don't fast. Disciples didn't have to fast, and you got them up there. I don't want you giving them no instructions not to do that I have to do. So if they didn't have to fast, neither do I. You know, sin came through the third Trinity, not through a fallen man. So by right, do the right thing, Jehovah. You could help my spirit without me asking. You see darkness down here warring against me, witchcraft and all this mess they got going on, Nephilimism, whatever you call it, that they got going on in the world. You draw this evil out of my spirit, out of my life. Get me out of here. You put me in the body of death without a fast. You're going to get me out. This body of death without a fast. It's according to my face. So be it unto me, Miss uh, President candidate wannabe. Yeah. So don't ever get in my face again. I said, well, we cut off your head, so you ain't going to make it to the Lord. Yeah, well, he's the resurrection. Now you remember that.